Mr. Henry, do you understand the offer that the state is making to you? As to all the charges that you're facing, the maximum possible penalties are as follows. Life in Florida State Prison, followed by 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 75 years.
PC Gambino account asked him if he was okay, and his response was, "I did that," and placed a smiley face emoji.
Like, they raid your crib and the surveillance footage of the is in your DVD player. They'll be like, oh, okay, thank you, brother. This can't be at your crib.
Today, it was announced YNWMelly's co-defendant, YNW Bortlen, was offered a 16-year plea deal, and he has until tomorrow to decide. He's currently facing 5 life sentences plus 75 years if convicted. According to the plea deal offer sheet, Bortlen is facing charges that could add up to 5 life sentences. Consists of 2 first-degree witness tampering charges, directing activities of a criminal act, and more witness tampering, which would all be consolidated into a 16-year prison sentence with time served, which is a no-brainer to accept.
Mr. Henry, do you understand the offer that the state is making to you? Okay, you're charged as follows. Counts 1 and 2 is the first degree with a firearm. Those are capital felonies, which means it's a mandatory life sentence. If a jury convicts you of count 1 or count 2 as charged, that's life in Florida State Prison. I have no discretion. Count 3 and count 4 are accessory after the fact to the first degree. Those are each first degree felonies. The maximum penalty for each of those is 30 years in Florida State Prison. Count 1 is tampering with a witness in a capital felony. That is punishable by life in Florida State Prison. Is directing the activities of a criminal. That's a first degree felony punishable by life. So the maximum penalty there is also life in Florida State Prison. Count 5 is conspiracy to commit tampering. And again, as it's charged, that is also a life felony. As to all the charges that you're facing, the maximum possible penalties are as follows. Life in Florida State Prison, followed by 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 75 years in Florida State.
The prosecutors have a very clear plan as it was announced. YNWMelly's Dublin retrial has been postponed once again. During a hearing on Friday, the 4th District Court of Appeals granted a stay in the case, allowing time to consider a motion by the state attorney's office. This day means the trial will not begin in September and has been pushed back to January 2027. Meanwhile, Bortlen's trial is set to begin in just a few days. The timing is no coincidence. They're doing this to pressure YNW Bortlen into a deal. It all started when the news reported a no communication order has now been filed in the YNWMelly trial. The order makes Melly and Bortlen completely separate. No talking, no lawyer talk, just silence. This is very common in court cases with 2 guilty parties, where one tries to turn on the other. Even the news reported, having Bortlen go against Melly is a slam dunk for the prosecution.
Issue here, and you can try them together. It is to the benefit of the state to try them together. It's just more efficient. You don't have to do things again and again. Do it all at once, and also you get a better chance of having them incriminate each other during the trial. It benefits the defense to sever it. That way they can point the finger at each other and get away with it. So this is what's going on. But I don't think it should be automatically severed because the state is seeking a penalty for Melly, because it's only the penalty phase of the trial that would be different, not the guilt phase. The guilt phase is the same. They're both capital crimes. You're seeking the penalty on one, not the other, but that goes into the second part of the trial, the penalty phase, only if Melly is found.
Having YNW Bortlen on their side could ensure Melly is found guilty in his 2027 trial. As part of Bortlen's plea deal, all he has to do is confirm the evidence against Melly is true, and he'll receive a very light sentence. If Bortlen knows he didn't commit this serious crime, there's no way he can sit there and take a life sentence without flinching, making it almost certain he'll point the finger at Melly, just like Melly did against Bortlen in the first trial. What most don't know is that Melly's lawyers already tried to pin the crime on Bortlen in that very first trial.
Those were his lives. Cortland Henry shows up at Memorial Hospital, Miramar, and you don't see him sitting there, but where you will see him sitting is in the driver's seat of a car with 2 bodies, car riddled with bullets. And when he shows up with a change of clothing, change of shirt, powder residue on his hands, evidencing that he had discharged the firearm. And he lies. He lies about where the incident occurred. He lies about how it occurred. And he lies about not having a phone. I think it was Miss Bradley herself who said, everybody has a phone in his pocket, not Cortland Henry.
Melly's lawyers claimed to the jury that they were the ones lying to the feds. But Bortlen was the one with powder residue on his hands, and he was the last person with juvie and sack chaser before they died. Melly's lawyers even brought in a forensic scientist to examine the deaths to provide more details about the powder residue on Bortlen's hands.
So the right hand of Cortland Henry contained 0 particles characteristic of pot residue and two component particles. And the left hand contained 1 particle characteristic of pot residue and 1 2-component particle.
Okay. And can you explain to us what that means?
Basically, overall, there was pot residue present on the hand.
What you might not know is that Bortlen and Melly haven't even spoken since Melly's lawyers made that move. That's why, when Melly's mistrial was granted, a report stated, Bortlen tweets a mysterious message on the same day Melly's mistrial was declared. The tweet reads, "Mind games don't work on people like me." Alongside a handshake emoji as if he's accepting some sort of deal, this means Bortlen has already been considering a plea deal since Melly's mistrial. But what's even more concerning is that Bortlen has every reason to snitch on Melly because of what was found inside his home.
Miami jail Monday night and is being held behind bars on an out-of-county warrant. We just confirmed the warrant is out of Broward County for witness tampering. The warrant obtained by Law and Crime Network states as follows. On or about April 10, 2023, continuing through and including July 22, 2023, Cortland Henry, aka Bortlen, along with others, did unlawfully and knowingly engage in misleading conduct toward another person with the intent to cause or induce them to withhold testimony. The warrant continues the alleged witness had been summoned by the legal process to the jury trial of Jamel Dimmons, aka YNW Melly. The dates in the warrant are important. Jury selection for Melly started in mid-April, and a judge declared a mistrial on July 22nd, the same day the warrant claims Bortlen allegedly tampered with a witness.
As it would be announced by Rice and Paul, here are the images of alleged notes discovered during the home raid of YNW Bortlen's home last week as filed into the Broward clerks by the state. Alongside these photos of Bortlen showing where certain jurors were sitting with descriptions of what they looked like, it seemed like Bortlen was preparing to act on behalf of YNW Melly. Just as Melly's lawyers began throwing incriminating evidence against him, it looked like Bortlen was ready to come to Melly's defense regarding the jurors who might have found him guilty.
To keep it real, this is sloppy. Bortlen, how the f you gonna have the notebook of the jurors in your house? Holy sh! Like, come the f on. It's like doing a and having the surveillance tape in your DVD player or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, come on, bro. Like they raid your crib and the surveillance footage of the is in your DVD player. They be like, oh, okay, thank you, brother. This can't be at your crib.
But here's where things get extremely concerning for Melly, and let me explain why. YNW Bortlen will be able to validate all the new evidence the prosecutors want to use against him. One piece of this new evidence is this Facebook post to YNWMelly with Young Thug. They're claiming that Melly is part of the same Red Street team as Young Thug.
Same thing, the use of the slap term, 5-point star, snake. He's saying he's YSL, and he puts up his YNW for life hashtag on it with Mr. Dennis having big B hand signs displayed.
Right, and see individuals again. I'm assuming that's also Young Thug. That's also known.
Yes.
Also important to your investigation, correct?
Yes.
Also publicly available for anyone to see.
He even went as far as trying to tell his lawyers in the courtroom to just let the prosecutors use it, knowing that Bortlen is going to accept the plea deal and validate the evidence anyway. The news reported, today's hearing marks the first time publicly went against his legal team's advisement in open court, where YNWMelly was seen yelling at his lawyers.
Yes, sir. Against our advice, our client wants to proceed.
You rejected it. You're requesting me to return this automatic stay.
Based upon what our client has instructed us.
People inside the courtroom overheard YNWMelly yelling at his eon. Lawyers saying, I don't care, I'm not in any gang, they cannot prove that.
I'm aware that 924-071 call for an automatic stay while
they were aggravators. They go to membership and again, there are things that the jury would have to find before going into penalty.
Not aggravator, that's to the death penalty. Aggravator, that's the enhancement itself, Your Honor. That was charged. He was charged in committing the murder for the further, which is an aggravator in terms of the guilt.
something that they would have to find by way of an interrogatory.
Yes.
What's even more alarming is another piece of evidence coming from an ex-OBLAC member snitching on YNWMelly. He claims Melly revealed a secret to King Von before Von passed away and before Melly was arrested. These two were best friends, but King Von allegedly told people inside Oblak that Melly had asked him for advice on how to handle certain people. And if you know King Von, you know exactly what that implies.
Did Von really tell you that Melly told him that he was two friends?
He ain't come out and say, like, we got into an argument. And so, you know, if you know, when people can say something without saying it. And so he told me, like, once I posted what I posted, Von was mad at me. Bro, why you put that, bro? What the bam? I'm like, you sitting up here, like, you know the love we got. You do this for us, but you gonna trust that his two friends? And he said, them was trying to extort him. And so I'm like, if they was trying to extort him, then why are you still around?
This means if YNW Bortlen accepts his plea deal, the feds will have 2 years to make all that evidence usable against Melly. And if they succeed, Melly could be sentenced to life in prison. But things get even worse for him with his second court case. If you've been following the Melly trial, there's another case where he's facing a potential life sentence. To understand this charge, it's key to know that he wasn't found guilty in the first trial because his girlfriend Mariah Hamilton had fled the United States. She couldn't testify against him until now, as she has just returned to the country.
Mariah Hamilton is spending her first day at the Broward County Jail. She has no arrest record until now. U.S. Border Patrol agents arrested her at Miami International Airport Monday after she arrived on an international flight. Court records show Hamilton was ordered to testify in Demon's first trial in 2023.
The judge struck a deal with Mariah, telling her that if she agreed to testify against Melly, she would be free to go. This means the feds now have not only YNW Bortlen, but also Mariah Hamilton, someone who knows exactly what happened to Juvie and Sackchaser. She accepted the deal immediately, which is devastating news for Melly. She even posted on Facebook, "To my village, thank Guy. You to my village. I love you all so much. God's plan, not mine." This is crucial because her iCloud account contains evidence that Melly tried to force her not to testify at the trial. This is considered witness tampering using a jail phone, a charge that alone carries a potential life sentence, regardless of whether Melly actually committed the crime against Juvie and Sackjay.
The state filing 6 new charges against Demons and 2 others who were allegedly involved. The charges include tampering with a witness, directing the activities of a criminal, solicitation or conspiracy to commit tampering, and unlawful use of a two-way communication device. Now, a couple of those charges actually carry a life in prison sentence if there's a conviction.
Witness tampering case is separate from the ongoing case of Sackchaser and Juvie's deaths, which Melly is also tied to. Because of his alleged tampering with the jail phone, he hasn't been allowed to use one for over a year. It got so extreme that his mother, Jaime King, even gave an interview exposing the county jail for not letting Melly use a phone, or even see his own mail.
My son has not been convicted of anything, and even other inmates that have been convicted or anything, they have the right to use a telephone. They have a right to be allowed to write letters to their loved ones, to receive their mail. They hold his mail, they don't give it to him.
The most concerning part? The feds have evidence proving he used jail phones to commit witness tampering. They wouldn't just block Melly from the phones on a hunch. That could trigger a multi-million-dollar lawsuit. Because of this, his mother, Jaime King, revealed she's absolutely heartbroken for her son. She says Melly isn't even being treated like a human.
You saw Melly's statement just saying how he's been hurt, how he's scared for his life. As a mother, how did that make you feel?
It's heartbreaking. It made me feel completely helpless. Broward Sheriff's Office definitely needs to be investigated. I mean, they are making up their own rules. We've tried to go to court about this situation. The judge really doesn't have any jurisdiction when it comes to the jail, because we actually had a hearing about the mistreatment of him, and the jail they make their own rules. And I don't think that's fair, because I know that they need to answer to someone too.
This, however, drew massive media attention, especially from industry insiders. Charleston White reacted, saying this is exactly how YNW Melly should be living, and that he does not deserve any kind of special treatment.
The YNW Melly, I'm so happy he in jail getting mistreated. Yeah, I'm so happy he in jail getting mistreated, homie. Homie, when you take a life, homie, you ain't got a right to complain about a motherfucking thing, about being mistreated, when you done chose to play somebody.
It even caught the attention of rap OG Bowie, who spoke out about the heavy stress Jamie King has been facing,
Okay, so
then I met his mama while he was in.
Oh, okay.
I met his mom while he was in, and she real, bro. You know, she real.
She's stressed out. I heard she had a.
Yeah, she real, and I reached my hand out to him, cause I'm real. Yeah, I reached out to him, bro. I met his mom, and she a good woman, bro. And when I see them mamas like that, it remind me of what my mom was going through, bro.
But having YNW Bortlen on their side will also answer one critical question, and that is the true context of what happened just 5 hours after the crime took place when the news was announced. The prosecutors updated the evidence against Melly. He didn't know that he was filmed admitting to the passing of Sack Chaser and Juvie just 5 hours after. The crime? Melly was spotted dancing in a parking lot with YNW Bortlen.
Melly still turned regardless of what happened this early morning. He's still out here being very positive. Turned still. Hey! No, still turned. Regardless of what happened, you already know.
Bortlen will also be able to reveal what YNW Melly was doing inside the Jeep when he was spotted just 30 minutes before the killings, hopping in before everyone else and taking the back left seat.
Excuse me, you're able to see? Yes? All right.
The official court. Document read, the direction of bullets traveling from left to right in the vehicle supports the claim that they originated from the back left seat where YNW Melly was positioned. Even YNW Juvie's own mother confirmed that Melly was sitting right there.
Can you state your name, your full legal name for the jury?
Leon Phillips.
Okay. And are you related to one of the in this case?
Yes, I am.
How so?
I'm his mother.
And who is that?
Christopher Thomas.
Ms. Phillips, did you see who entered into the occupants who entered into that gray Jeep?
Yes.
Do you recognize where your son entered that gray Jeep?
Yes.
Which seat, if you can identify for the jury?
He got in the back seat on the right-hand side.
Did you recognize the individual that got into the back seat on the left side, the rear driver's side?
Yes.
And who was that individual?
Janelle.
Drop a comment if you think YNW Melly will be found guilty after Bortlen's plea deal. And don't forget to hit like if you'll still be listening to Melly's music.